Oh, hey there, ScoopTalk. What's going on? Just reading tomorrow's paper today.
How about that?
Yeah,
Magic.
pretty impressive. I bet everybody wants to know what's on the front, and I'm showing them a little bit.
A little bit.
But it's upside down, so only the really talented ones can read it. But, yeah, it's good stuff. Really good. I'd pick up a copy if I were you. Chris Korman, Halo Time Sports Editor, joined by Dustin Dopirak, IU beat writer. We have been in Indy all day at the North Central High School complex on the north central side of Indianapolis, surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
It's actually a little bit more east. But
yeah.
Checking out the recruits, let's get right to it. Dustin, tell me what you learned today.
The Caleb Tarzuski is really, really good. I have no idea how you pronounce that. I'm going to have to look at it a little bit closer.
Hugh and I said last night
well,
on
at
the
some
video
point, I mean, I have to really look at
you would
the
be the guy to know.
I mean, I can pull this off. I mean, I am,
Okay.
Slovak and Polish and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'll be able to figure this out. I haven't looked at it closely, really considered the letters and their relationship to each other yet. But I'll be able to figure that out. But
I would just
really
ask
good.
him tomorrow, maybe.
That's a good idea.
That was the last thing you saw, though.
It was the last
We were
thing I
walking
saw.
out and we caught the end of their game. I think maybe your brain is just fried.
It's possible. Well,
and
most
you're
of it
just
is
remembering.
that we spent most of today watching people I'd already seen.
True.
So that was a big part of it. I mean, most of the games I saw were Indiana Elite teams. I saw the 16 and unders and the 17 and unders, who we've seen a lot of with Cody Zeller and Austin Evanston, Jeremiah Davis and Yogi Farrell. Seen plenty of those guys. 16s was interesting only because of guys that weren't there. Devontae Smith-Rivera, I think, is out for all of July. And
Yeah, he had knee surgery, so
he's out. And Hunter Perea, I guess, tweaked his ankle the other day. He's going to miss a couple of days. He's going to miss this tournament. He said he'll be back for the next one. So it was interesting to see Kenny Kaminsky and Peter Jerkin really have to step up without those two guys. So it was a different dynamic than
Kaminsky really did.
And Kenny Kaminsky looked really good.
He shot well from the outside, and obviously, a bigger kid can get things done inside. Played with a good motor.
Yeah.
He had Tom Izzo was front and center for that game.
That he was.
And I think most people think the Michigan State's in pretty high with.
He says
Kaminsky.
it's a three-team race. It's Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Indiana, and he said he will make his decision on July 31st. He has set a definitive date. He said that actually.
He has gone LeBron on it.
He has gone LeBron on it. July 31st.
We will have an hour-long special that day.
Yes, we definitely will.
An hour-long Scoop Talk. And if you survive,
all about Kenny Kaminsky.
We'll send you $1,000 for
exactly
enduring that.
Yeah, but that's when he's making his decision, and it looks like he could be, he would be a good fit for what Tom Crean at least says
absolutely.
he wants. He's a forward that can step out.
Yeah.
He has some bulk as well. He can throw his weight around a little bit inside. He's not a really skinny four, but he can shoot it. So that's sort of basically to the letter almost what Tom Crean says he wants from his power forward.
What did you think of, you mentioned Peter Jerkin, but we saw a couple of the other A-Hope kids that quite frankly, IU fans are getting pretty accustomed to. They've seen the Tijon Job. They had a little bit of Bawa, not very much. They're going to see Guy Marc Michel, who's a little bit of a different situation. But these players who are physical specimens, who are just completely raw, is this group of A-Hope kids more advanced, in your opinion?
Well, I think Jerkin is. I don't know about the rest of them. And the difference with what's strange is they're a lot skinnier.
Well, yeah, they're
concerningly skinnier. Like, how do you stand up on those legs skinnier? But Jerkin, I think, has, from what I can tell, I mean, when you're watching 7-foot kids play 6'8" kids and 6'7" kids, they tend to look a lot better than they do when they're actually playing 7-footers and 6'10" guys. So I don't know if he would look any better if you put him against the type of competition that Bawa and Tijon have had to endure. But, I mean, they seem to be a lot more coordinated than either one of those two are. Jerkin especially, I mean, shoots free throws well, seems to have a pretty good handle, seems to have a good idea of how to use his body in the paint, how to, kind of clear people out and stuff like that. Again, he's not dealing with huge guys, and it will be different when he does because he's skinny. But he seems to have a lot better feel for the game, I think, than Tijon did and Bawa did from what I saw. Now, I didn't see those guys in high school, and maybe it would be a lot different if you saw these guys play in the college level. But Jerkin seems to have more of a clue than those guys did.
You mentioned Etherington and how obviously he's a guy we've been watching closely. He's Indiana's lone commit in 2011 right now. What did you think about how he played today? tends to get lost a little bit on that team. Comes and goes. Has spurts where he's good. Has spurts where he's gone.
Right.
What did you see from him today?
I gather that he's gotten a lot better in the last 2 days. I mean, it sounded like I obviously was in Akron yesterday when these guys were in Indy, but apparently he had an atrocious first game. But he seems to have been a lot better. He's shooting it a lot better. I mean, he can do a lot of things well. I mean, he is that sort of wing that can get lost in the mix. He's not a dominant guy. He's not going to dominate the ball. He's the type of guy that likes to sort of fade out and sometimes likes to be forgotten in the game and sort of get lost in that corner there and get an open shot that way. He's really trying to make a point to add some things to his game, to be better off the dribble, to attack the basket that way, and to play better defense. As far as attacking off the dribble, I think you're seeing some degree of improvement, but I mean, he's obviously not close to being sort of like a Jeremiah Davis who can really break a couple guys down off the dribble, get in the paint, draw a foul that way, and get some layups. He's not that good on the dribble right now. There are things he did better defensively, I thought. I think he's getting to be a better perimeter defender. He had 2 blocks today. He sort of swallowed up a couple smaller guards doing that, so you can tell that that's been an emphasis for him. So he's making a point to do more than just shoot.
Yeah, the thing with Etherington is he absolutely does not hurt you generally.
Yeah,
and that's a team that has players that hurt the team sometimes by trying to do too much.
Jeremiah and Yogi can make bad decisions. I mean, you see very much the good and the bad with those two guys all the time. They both have the ability to do just about everything you need. They can both shoot it, they can both get to the hole, and they can pass well, but they can also make bad decisions.
That comes with them wanting to take over at times.
Exactly. They want to make a point that they can do that. I mean, you'd like to believe that if you put them in a college system, they would settle down a little bit, but sometimes they make passes that you're like, well, what were you guys doing? I mean, they had a hard time with the press today against one of the teams they played. Had a real hard time dealing with that. I think there was 4 turnovers on 4 consecutive possessions. Team-wise, it wasn't all them, but they still had issues with that, forcing the passes and stuff like that.
Right. The other guy on that team, much ballyhooed, Cody Zeller, the most popular person at this tournament. Bob Kravitz wrote about him. Our friend Bob Kravitz, an interesting column in the Star, just talking about Zeller being obviously the third in a family line and how he sort of understands the recruiting process and we've said repeatedly
he understands it too well for our
he's played it perfectly but he plans to narrow down to 5 teams, take visits, sort of go through that. He's such a known commodity at this point as far as who wants him and where he might end up. What do you see on the court with him? Has he changed much since you've only been watching him a little bit?
Well, I think that's the thing. I think I've caught him since he's made, I guess, his biggest change. I mean, he really dedicated himself in the weight room, in part because he took an advanced placement gym class this year. He spent a lot of time, I reported this earlier.
That's not even a real thing.
Or something like that. Maybe not advanced placement, not AP,
What's
but
the test
an advanced gym class where basically every day he goes to school and lifts, and he gets a grade for that, which is kind of cool. But he's gotten a lot stronger, I think, over the past year. And, I mean, I think you do see constant additions to his game. I mean, I think he gets, better and more dominant under there. I mean, it's rare that you're going to see, again, a kid that height, that size, play against somebody who can legitimately go toe-to-toe with him. But the guys he's doing with now, he's just kind of toying with. And he makes good post moves. He just had a really, really nice steal today just to get an easy layup. And that's the type of things you keep saying. He's battling for rebounds. He's learning how to use his body.
Right. And the thing with him is that he's a very dynamic player. He can step out and hit. He had a dagger, a basket today when the team they were playing in the second game. I'm totally blanking on it. But they started a little run, and literally, they had gotten 6 quick points and cut the lead to 7, which was pretty good for that game. And the players were all standing on the bench, and Zeller drains a 15-footer from the wing, and it's just... that was
it's killer when that guy when somebody like that can do that.
And he can do that. And so I think he has that ability where he'll adjust when he does. Yeah. He can do things to counter the people who are bigger than him. But according to the bracket, it does look like he could end up playing Caleb Trzewski. And that team has some other big guys.
Yeah, that's really going to be a place where you really see. I mean, Trzewski, as we were saying, is a true college center. There's no question about it. He doesn't have to develop it. He owns the paint, and he's really active and really energetic and really gets after things. He's got just a great frame. He's not huge right now, but I think he's still bigger than Cody. Yeah, and he's going to add more. Right. I mean, he's just got everything you want basically from a college center. Sure. And again, they also have some other big dudes.
So you'll be back out tomorrow?
That's my plan.
Cool. Hopefully you'll be here too.
Yeah.
Read the scoop. read the paper, HTO.
Keep up with us.
All of that. Take care. Thanks for being here. See ya.